YouTube land? What's good? It's your boy B Herd, aka Brian, aka Prince, aka Prince Vegeta without the hating. Prediction time for EVO Street Fighter V. If you don't know me, future FGC commentator, name is B Herd. I commentate Street Fighter V out of the most games that I had the chance to commentate. What am I? On Reddit Fighting, twitch.tv/Reddit Fighting with Joe Monday, Symphony, shout out to the boys. Good luck at EVO as well. And we are talking about Street Fighter V. Now, Street Fighter V is obviously a part of the Capcom Pro Tour, and EVO is its biggest event. EVO is worth more than 2 premieres. Let me say it again, because a ranking event is about 150 points. So it's decent. But EVO is worth 2 premieres, and then some. Actually, hold on, let me do the math real quick. So 700, 1400, plus 150. Oh, it's, wait, 13, it's still worth 2 premieres and 2 ranking events, and then 50 points extra, if my math's right. I just did it in my head, quick math. Big facts. So, obviously, it's worth the most. Second place is more than the premiere. Third place, you get 450. Fourth place, you get 400. So, you cannot go to a single tournament this year, win EVO, depending on how everybody else finished, but let's just say everybody who's ranked in the top 32 does terrible, right? You can win EVO and be in first place. That's how much this matters. Could you imagine if someone just trained for EVO, didn't go to any other tournament, went to EVO, won it, and it was in first place? It'd probably be good for the rest of the year, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, we're already in August. I don't think there's a lot of events in September, October, and November. And then, boom, Capcom Cup. So, you know, your points are pretty much good as sealed here. EVO's going to make a difference. 2,493 entries. Crazy. I think it's the second. I want to say it's the second most, or it might be first. It might be first. I think Dragon Ball's just a little behind it, but we'll know in tomorrow's video, obviously. And Smash GG finally got the fantasy bracket up, so I wasn't able to talk about the Justice fantasy bracket that I made, but I will talk about the Street Fighter bracket that I made. Their prediction is Fujimura, which I could see why. He's the #1 seed. You know, Sabuki's playing godlike. He's just on top of it. I just watched the interview with Born Free and Kami, and he said that when he went to EVO Japan, Fujimura, the only time he got off the sticks was to get snacks. And then when he got snacks, he came back and started playing some more. So it's that dedication, that time that he's put into it, and it shows. It really does. So the way that I want to do this is I want to kind of talk about the U.S. and like my top 5 players that are coming out of the U.S. And then I'm going to talk about like a top 8 predictions as far as where locations that people are going to go. And a bold prediction. A couple bold predictions that I have. And then talk about my fantasy bracket and talk about my winner. So it's more so just like talking. It's not really like a recap. I'm not going to break down the tournaments and stuff like that because, you know, I'm always talking about Capcom Cup standings and stuff like that. My top 5 U.S. players are the top 5 U.S. players to, I want to say, do well and, you know, just like if my mama's life was on the line and I had to pick like 5 U.S. players to represent for EVO to save my mom's life, and like one of them had to make top 8. I think this is the 5 that I would pick, and this is the 5 that I would feel confident in. I'd still be nervous because it'd be my mom's life. I didn't want to put my life on it. But, yeah. And I think those players are Justin Wong. I think that his Manat's fine. He might even bring out the Falk. Even though she's kind of mid-tier. I think that's Capcom's aim. Every time they release a DLC character, it's kind of just put them in the middle. You don't want them too strong. You don't want them too weak. But they're always kind of relatively in the middle. And I think we're seeing that with Cody the more that he's been out and people are playing him. I mean, obviously, V-Trigger 2 is godlike. I feel like every character's V-Trigger 2 that came out in Season 3 so far is godlike. But, yeah. So, and maybe he still has Karen. So, he might even pull out the Karen. So, I think Justin Wong will do well. Knuckle do. I think top 10. I think he's 6th right now, currently in the points. Just signed with Ghost, so he has a sponsor, so probably less stress that he has to worry about. I think he'll be ready to play. You know, the army of Knuckle Dude. Excuse me. Fun fact: if I ever get good at Street Fighter V, I probably would play Knuckle Dude's cast of characters. I always wanted to play Guile, but I just struggle with charge characters. I'm not patient enough for it. Meek is super fun. I got converted by El Chicote in Black Gang Galaxy, and Cammy's Cammy. So yeah, that's if you want to know what characters I play. Punk is kind of, I don't want to say struggled because he did well at E-League. It's tough, man. I think he's kind of, I don't want to say surfing like how Justin Wong did, where Justin Wong's so good at multiple games that like he'll get top 8s, but he's getting close. But I'd be honestly shocked if Punk is not in the top 32. I mean, if he's not in the top 32, that would be one of my favorites for the Last Chance qualifier winner. But I think he's like, last time I checked, he was like 43rd, something around there. But I definitely think that after Evo, Punk is one of those people that he could lose early and still make a magnificent run and make it deep into the pool's brackets. I think Punk obviously gets in the top 32 after this weekend, and I really see him doing well. I really do. Smug, you know, he finished 2nd at E-League, and I mean, Evil's weird, right? Because Evil, you're gonna have killers everywhere. You're gonna have someone like Trashbox, for instance. Trashbox is the #1 player online. He's a Japan birdie player. You're gonna have people who are just killers, like from Japan, that you maybe never even heard of, but they go to the locals every day and they play, like, they probably practice against Tokido. You're gonna have a lot of those players at Evo. Then you're gonna have some killers in the USA that don't go to a lot of tournaments, but it's Evo, so they want to go see the theatrics and this amazing event that it's in. I think Sundays are always in Mandalay Bay too, so you know, pools are going to be tough. And there's a lot of no names. I think that's the beauty of Evo, is like people get upset by like virtually no names, and you got to be ready for every matchup and every player. So I see Smug doing well, and the only reason why, well, one of the many reasons I say that is because, one, he's a character loyalist, so he knows Balrog inside and out. He's probably comfortable with every matchup. He's probably played a ton of Street Fighter V. 2, as though I kind of sound like I'm contradicting myself, but there's no matchup, there's no run that Smug can make that I'm confident he won't be able to handle when your first opponent in E-League is Fujimara, then you play Punk, then you play Problem X, then you play Daigo, then you play Tokido. You know what I'm saying? If you play like that list of characters, you're probably at least top 32 in Evo, so I really expect him to do well. Maybe even get top 16. It kind of helps with something else I'm trying to mention. And last but not least, Christitarian. Ken's look good. I think he's developing the Kumo just fine. And like I said, he's one of the top US players. I expect him to do well. I really do. I think another noticeable one is, off the top of my head, is CJ Truth. He's been playing well. I think he has the right skills and the right character to play well. And I'm looking forward to see how he does as well. Honorable mention. Now, my top 8 predictions, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it as not like the people I think are going to be in the top 8, but I'm going to do it as far as the region and things of that nature, or the area where you're from. I think Japan and Korea is probably going to have the most people, right? I say 5. And I know it's crazy because I feel like first Evo, I want to say there was like 7, and then Joe was the lone survivor. L.I. Joe was. I can't remember in the last year's Evo. I know Punk was in there, obviously. I want to say Filipino champ was there. Maybe 2, but I'm going off the top of my memory, so there's maybe 3 or so. But this year, I think this is going to be the most diverse it's going to be. Even though that typically for Street Fighters, it's kind of been like the US dominates at the beginning of the game, a la 4. Then Japan, like, alright, the game is developed now. We know what we're doing. We're going to take over. And then they just kill everybody. So, I have a feeling that it's going to be the most diverse it's ever been. So, I think there's going to be 5 Japan and Korea players. Shout out to Logasama and F Word. I think there's going to be a European player, and I think that European player is going to be Problem X. There's Luffy. European has a great scene. Aki Ino's playing well. Sax, the lower player is playing well. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but I think there's going to be one sole survivor from Europe. I really do. And with this last one, it was kind of tough because I was leaning more towards just USA, but then I was thinking of Latin America too. And I'm gonna say 3 from USA/Latin America. And I think either, if I had to pick 3, I would say Justin, Wong, Knuckle Doo, and Punk. But if I had to pick some Latin American players, like the more and more I thought Brolino could make it. I thought Phenom could make it. I thought Kaba and Menardi. And those are the 4. So I think 5 Japan and Korean players, 1 European player, and 3 US or Latin players. Now, if I make it, I'm going to shimmy all up on this month. I might even do the Shiggy challenge. I'm like, I told you so. Be her, know what he's talking about. But we'll see. Bold predictions. And it kind of is a perfect segue of me saying my top 8. My bold prediction, I have 3 of them, is either Kaba, Smug, Punk, or Sokka will have an amazing run. Now, typically, to have a run, if you will, I think Bonchan had one last year. I feel like there's another player last year that had a major run, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Tokido had a pretty legendary run, obviously, because he came from loser's side when he won it all. I think that those 4 players that I list will have an amazing run. No, I just ate a lot of food, so I'm like food belly and all that. But I think they'll have an amazing run. I don't know if they'll go to losers early, but I think when it's all said and done, they'll have a couple bodies on their list. I think one of those, because I can honestly see one of these 4 people in top 8 too, but I can also honestly see one of these people like top 16, like that 9th place, that just right there, but they just body a whole bunch of fools and all that stuff. So I see that happening. My second prediction is RSF Street Fighter. They had a team. They had the Vega player. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. It starts with T. Tiga, I believe. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. El Chicote, my homeboy, my brother. You already know. That's the bro. Like, I'm gonna root for him. I'm gonna be the Kaba, have the Kaba effect anytime that I would see El Chicote playing as my dog. It's my day one. I drop combos is a great godlike Karen player who's been playing really well. I want to say he plays like top 3 the last a couple Reddit fighting tournaments. And Neon V was a person who got top 8 at final round. You know what I'm saying? So Neon V is no slouch. He plays Colleen. Colleen's pretty sick. Gives people problems. He was even competing with Momochi, and that's like a godlike player. So I see one of those, or even Joe Monday, or even one of the mods. I think Kamikaze Warrior's playing. Kamikaze plays in Nemo. Kamikaze, if he plays like he did Monday, he was playing out of his mind. So that's another person I can see getting an upset. Alright, and if Mike Too Strong's going, I don't know if he's going or not. But that's another solid player from the R Street Fighter community. I see one of those people getting a major upset, like a pro player, and then everybody's gonna be like, ugh! You know what I'm saying? But, and then my last bold prediction. It's not like a bold prediction. This is probably the one that's more likely to come true out of all of them. Or like I think a G reveal trailer. Either maybe not a trailer, but like a teaser or something. Like Capcom is gonna start pumping the wheels, if you will, with the G trailer, or maybe switch. You know how they switch their logo or whatever. We're gonna see something about G. I mark my words. I really believe we're gonna see something about G. And then, like I said earlier in the video, they didn't have one for Injustice, but finally today, August 1st, they had the fantasy brackets up. So this is my fantasy team, and I'm feeling pretty confident about my fantasy team. I have Tokido, Daigo, Knuckle Doo, Menardi, Nemo. Is this like saying Nemo? Like Finding Nemo? No, I'll say Nemo, John Takeuchi, Alex Myers, Rob TV, Brian F, El Chicote, L.I. Joe. L.I. Joe is up. I'm not gonna cuss on this video. I was gonna cuss. I was just so fucking. L.I. Joe is a steal, bro. L.I. Joe is a steal, and I know what you're saying. L.I. Joe hasn't played in a while. He hasn't had this really immaculate run since that Evo 2016. But L.I. Joe, $10, bruh. Ooh, if it's not your homeboy or your home girl, if it's not your homie, who better to get in at $10? $10, bruh. $10 for L.I. Joe? That's easy money. That's easy money. That's probably good. If out of anybody, he's gonna triple my profit on that. As far as points, if it goes points to money, he's gonna triple that. Easy. I'd be shocked if he does. It's L.I. Joe. He finished top 8 at Evo in Street Fighter 5, the game he's playing now. Come on, son. That's easy money. That's easy money. Now, last but not least, I've talked about the points. I talked about some people I think are going to be top 8. I talked about some regions that I think are going to be top 8. Who is my winner? Who am I picking? Who? I think I want to do what I did last video where I had like 3 people to mention. And like the third person was like my least likely and etc. etc. But my number 1 person is obviously the person I think is going to win. So let's start off with the number 3 person. I think the third person most likely to win Evo is going to be the man who's already done it. And you're probably thinking, like, oh, you talking about last year? So back to back, like 96, 97? No, not last year. I think the first one, Infiltration. Infiltration as a jury is not been working on Chun-Li. I think that he's going to be right there. He's going to be in the top 8, and he has a chance to win. Will he win? I don't know. But I like Infiltration's odds. My second is the guy. Like, I think he's won 6 Elos, something crazy like that. Hasn't won a Street Fighter 5. I think if he does, it also ties into what I'm going to say after this next person. But I think Daigo. Daigo just won a premiere. Daigo's playing phenomenal. His Guile looks good. He gets pressure with Guile, his owner, who's a charge character. Like, I expect Daigo to do really well. I'm actually hoping he does well. I would actually fanboy out if Daigo wins. Because you root for him. This is a guy you want to root for. This is his personality, his demeanor. He has a book out. He has a manga. Bruh, how can you not like Daigo? Like, I see him winning. But the number 1 person I see winning is also something I've been saying throughout all of these Capcom Cup recap videos and things of that nature, prediction videos, things of that nature. I see Tokido doing the Triple Crown. And what I mean by the Triple Crown in the FGC as far as Capcom Cup, Capcom Pro Tour goes, is winning E-League, winning Evo, and winning the Capcom Cup. Had he not lost to Mena RD, he technically would have done that. Because he didn't win the Capcom Cup, but he's won E-League, he won Evo last year, he won Brooklyn Beatdown, and I think there's another event that's like super serious. I want to say, didn't he get top 8 at Evo Japan? I don't know. Somebody in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. Players mess up, my bad. I see him doing it. I really see him getting the Triple Crown. I think it's going to be at the point where Tokido's so good. I mean, he got bopped as CEO. It's bound to happen sooner or later. I think it's going to get to a point where he's going to have the Sonic Fox effect. And I know somebody in the comment section, how dare you compare him to Sonic Fox? He's better than Sonic Fox. I'm saying where Sonic Fox was so dominant in the sport that, ain't no point in competing. I think Tokido's about to have this run. He's technically in this run right now. He's technically, like, started this up into the GOAT selection. But I think him and Punk had this, like, rivalry, which I still don't think is done. I think as soon as Punk gets his groove back, it's going to be the Punk you know and love. The Punk that had so much damn points, he could have gave somebody points and got him into the Capcom Cup. That's how much points he had. And still been number 1. He probably could have gave all the rest of the points that he didn't need to be number 1 to someone who wasn't even in tournaments, and they would have been like middle of the road. That's how much points he had last year. He had like, he was in the thousands, like high thousands, like 3,000, 4,000, something ridiculous. Then again, the point structure was different than it is this year. But Tokido's my number 1, Daigo's my number 2, and Infiltration is my number 3. I know how like Injustice, I was like the year of the underdog. It's kind of not, it's a dry game. I think there's gonna be another underdog, not with Street Fighter V. I think Street Fighter V is gonna be dominant. It's gonna be somebody you know who's gonna win. There's gonna be no surprises. I mean, obviously pools are pools. People drown in pools. As you know, you get excited to make it out of pools and Evo, rightfully so. But at the top 8, where you're really playing in Evo, it's gonna be nothing but studs. Anyone who's in that deserves it. And that's all I gotta say in this video. Let me know your fantasy bracket. Let me know who you have winning Evo. And share this with your mama. Share this with your granny. Share it with your daddy. Share it with someone who will watch it with the sound up. I don't care. Just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it on Reddit Street Fighter. Let's show some love. I told you, I'll be heard, FGC commentator. This is what I want to do. So you gotta get used to this face or not, because you're gonna see it a lot. I'm trash now. The quality's trash now, but it's gonna get better, I promise you. But I love y'all. I'm out. Until next time. Peace. Dragon Ball video tomorrow.